Don't know why I always have a bit of a laugh as I come onto the screen. It just amuses me how it says going live, but there's no real countdown. Hello, Sally. Hello, everyone else who is here on what I want to say is quite a magical kind of closing off a little tiny cycle. That's how it feels to me, but the energies are pretty amazing. I am feeling to tell you that we are in flow, really, of this build-up of energies that will shift us through into the new year. But I'll begin with my notes. So I want to begin with the closing that I did last time, whenever that was, and maybe you've read the post that I wrote today about having experienced what can only, in my view, be called another dimensional shift. So we're having kind of dimensional shifts that you could call interdimensional shifts or incremental dimensional shifts. And there's also this oscillation or this vacillation going on, which is why I imagine many of you are feeling like, where am I? That whole what's going on, that discombobulation, disorientation. For me, I have felt as though I'm, 100 kilometers out in the ethers, that I'm in this really expanded form. And I'm sure that I'm doing work that I haven't kind of tuned into that is beyond this realm. And many of you will be as well, and at some point I'll get around to tuning into that. But I want to begin with how I closed last time as a reminder about where we are at here, now on the 9th of December of 2023. So in fact, we don't have a lot of time in this calendar year remaining, but yeah, there's this real sense of the sensory feeling of experience that it's like we are building. We're building into the flow. And so many of you are doing this 3D to 5D, and certainly the divine masculine are in that experience. And so that can be a bit like feeling in the lower at 1 minute, having an experience because you're shifting it as well. So it's shifting yourself in order to shift the collective, in order to shift all of humanity. And that's the work that we are all involved in at the moment. So I wrote the cosmic heart and divine love. We are returning to that, to the re-establishment and embedding of the Sophianic codes and the mother principles, the Trinity flame and the living light codes in the plasma light bodies coming to the earth, enabling us to each return in balanced form to our original divine plan, organic blueprints. So that's the overview of where we have been during this month and where we are headed during this month. Is greater absorption, I guess, embodiment of those. So Friday the 8th of December, well, actually it's quite surprising. So the days are really long in my world, and some people are having days that are really short, and some people are having days that are short and then days that are long. So this is what I wrote on the 8th. A lot of energetic activation occurring in the top third of the spine and out to the shoulder in a triangulation effect or a triangle shape. So that was showing up very strongly, like an upgrade going through there, coupled with further energies assisting us all to deeper clearing and purification. So hello Sally, and hello Ciela, and hello Dawn, and hello Billy, and hello Sandy. Yeah, they are, aren't they? It's like where are you, Billy? Are you heading into winter? We're heading into summer here. So our days are getting longer. Hello, Charlotte. our days are definitely getting longer here, but there's been this sense of it even before that. So I'm not convinced it's a seasonal thing. It's this experience, I believe, that is related to ascension and related to our dimensional shift. So we are on the internal plane seeking balance of mind, body and spirit, and masculine, feminine and holy child, and a whole lot of other triangulations that we have spoken about in the past, but there's definitely that aspect coming up. Oh, you're heading into winter. And so Sandy, are you feeling this experience of the days feeling longer? So on a personal level, yesterday, I can't believe that I'm just talking to you and I'm using this word yesterday, and these are my notes. Related to yesterday, I had a slight headache and experienced, related to these energies, anxiety and nervousness, which I linked to my divine masculine. Shorter, fast energy. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely another experience within this, isn't it? And Billy, you're just north in Warkworth. So long as in time dragging. Yeah, I feel like, honestly, I feel that I fit 2 to 3 days worth of activities and things into one day at the moment. But yeah, there is that other of time going faster, so it can feel shorter. And like I said, I think last time that Gaia had said how we will have these different 3-day experiences, and that each of us will have individual experiences at this time. So yesterday I wrote, see, I'm amused by that. I'm amused that here I am reading you my notes from Friday the 8th of December, and that it was yesterday. I felt very removed from the world, and I wrote the post that I wrote. Was over here. Wait a minute, I've got it on 2 screens. Was, you may be feeling a bit lost in space and detached from the world and even from yourself today. This extreme effect is from our being in a huge dimensional shift, which continued, of course. We are being affected, especially in the heart and solar plexus, as well as the sternum. And many of you may also be feeling quite spacey and fuzzy with pressure in the frontal lobe. Big psychic upgrades for vision are occurring today, and more deeper purification, along with amplified information related to purpose and mission. So that was what I wrote and yesterday. And then today I wrote, you may have felt another energy shift and dimensional alignment. I'll be coming on later. Meanwhile, which is now, lots of love, and drink lots of good quality water, and get grounded and be gentle with self, because I have to keep reminding you, we've never done this. No one ever has. It's a total experiment, not an experiment on us, but this experience, really, that's, I guess it's experimental because it's never been done before, this ascension into 5th dimension in physical form. So I wanted to, I wrote, be mindful and aware that we are in varying levels of wrapping up this year of transformation, which has included huge amounts of clearing and purification, balancing and embodying in a very physical, tangible way on all levels, as individuals, as humanity as a whole, and Earth. So I'm coming back to here. Not much winter here in British Columbia so far. That's interesting. Solar plexus hurts and heavy. Okay, Pretty. Yes, I think that's a common experience as well. Sally's saying very woozy today, hard to walk a straight line. Sandy's saying just being in the flow, and it's made a huge difference. Good. Just observing, but noticing others at work struggling. major clearing November. Yes, we did. In general, we had massive clearing going on in November, and now we are in sort of maybe the last, we keep saying the, deeper purification, but there's this real sense that we are on the lead up to the ramp, if you like, to leap off into our ascension space. Tina's saying dizziness for 2 weeks now. Yeah, so that could be coming into equilibrium. That could be balancing, and it could also be to do with expansion of your clairaudience, Tina. Is clairaudience one of your gifts? Because I've definitely been sensing that for people, that people who have clairaudience as their gift are having more of that experience of dizziness. We are also watching this physical transformation through its dissolution and disintegration of structures and systems that have held us in many closed loop cycles, which are now ending. So there's lots of information and interesting kind of activity or lack of activity, closures, shifting of policies in terms of our governments, in terms of our banking systems, in terms of health, in terms of what's coming out, in terms of what's gone on with vaccine injuries and the response or lack of response to those. So there's a lot in the mix, I want to say. We could see it. We could see it from a whole lot of angles. Like it could be from the angle of truth. It could be from the angle of keeping people in fear. It could be from the angle of hiding things. It could be from the angle of revealing things. It could be from the angle of ascension. It could be from the angle of upgrades. It could be to provoke as well for more awakening to people who not yet awakened, but we're really close to that. So the 12th is going to be a big factor for those people who are still, if you like, in their slumber. So as we invoke and embrace these heart-opening energies, a new level of awakening occurs. A softness in the collective, a curiosity of what is to come, a training period on how to be with self. How to be with self in the moment with what is, being open, interested, curious, gentle, knowing I've got this, we've got this, don't know how or when, just that it is. So this is the place that we're being encouraged to place ourselves to sit. The veil continues to thin. The people are beginning to see the slumber is ending. Place your focus softly, gently on the creation point right in front of you, in that place, in that moment, and place the feelings you wish to be in experience and embodying. Let that be your practice. All right. So I'm going to read that again so you can take that on board. Place your focus. This is from Gaia about a new shift with the practice. You'll place your focus softly, gently on the creation point right in front of you, in that place, in that moment, and place the feelings you wish to be in, to experience and embody. So you can be working with, I am here in peace. I am here in ease. I am here in love of all that is, embracing my experience in this now moment, being in joy, enjoying the observation of what is going on and watching nature unfold. Anything like that really brings you into presence. This listening to the surf, this listening to music, the leaves in the trees, anything that brings you into this present moment. And I want to say there's something to be said in just letting anything go that isn't urgently in your face to attend to. So we've been so well trained to be doers, to meet times, to pack things into the day. And yet this keeps us bound, it keeps us held. And so I just encourage you to be more fluid with that, bring yourself greater permission to be in more freedom with that. Yeah, there's this thing about the 8th being this activation and balancing. So we're in the 9th now. This activation and balancing in preparation for the period from the 12th to the 21st, where I'm showing a massive shift in consciousness, alignment, and connection takes place. And it's quite funny because I noted that as I was writing that, it was 12:21. So there's also been this uptake energy on temples, in the frontal lobe, and jaw connections, just sort of under here, under this flap, in behind there, in the jaw. That connection to the ear, the pineal gland, and eye activations. So lots of you may have been experiencing kind of excessive blurry vision, painful behind the eyes, pain in the brain, and the like energy in the frontal lobe, and it's all connected to this upgrade of clairaudience and clairvoyance, this inner vision seeing. Everyone is receiving inner vision upgrades, and outer vision equilibrium is what I wrote. You may find your vision feeling as though it's strongly moving in and out of focus. Greater triangulation between the physical eyes and the pineal will be occurring throughout this month as your creative sensory nodes are also being activated more strongly. So are you feeling prompted to be more creative or to begin being creative? Follow your internal nudgings on that. There's a lot of that kind of energy coming in as well. Believing is seeing. That's right. That's the paradigm shift, isn't it, Sandy? We're shifting from seeing is believing to believing is seeing. And we are all doing this, not necessarily in the same order or in the same way, because we're right down to the kind of the bottom of this clearing now, and some of it's coming in and it's really ancient, and some of, it could be for all sorts of ancient civilizations, ancient familial, ancient wounds, ancient gifts, all of that. It's all coming up for us to release or integrate. You are reminded to sit with, wait a minute, let me get back to a paragraph I've missed. Sternum release of codes is also occurring. I am told that this relates to the furthering of skills and talents and gifts, a broad scope of these, individually tailored, alignment to one's own higher sensory and intuitive experiences are taking place. You are reminded to sit with, everything is happening for me, unfolding perfectly. I am loving the mystery of my life and in excited anticipation of the unknown and what is to come. I really liked that when that came through. I am loving the mystery of my life and in excited anticipation of the unknown and what is to come. As I think, as I speak, so it be. So you are being encouraged to speak your creations in. So we are elevating, Gaia says, to the higher in much the same way. What's that word I wrote? Super. As a super fast elevator. Think glass-walled elevator in a glass-walled high-rise building with a 360-degree view. That's the imagery she gave me. That we are just moving in this elevator, like the bullet train. If you've ever been on the Shinkansen in Japan, the bullet train that goes it goes so fast that you have to be mindful about where you place your eyes, because if you look to the side, everything's just whizzing past. Your vision is really stretched to focus. So you have to look in that direction, just slightly to the side, so you can see what's coming, because here it's just this blur, and it's that kind of effect going up. So there's this idea that we're rising up in the ascension spiral, and that it's very, very quick. Also interesting, I'll just give it to you as it comes, so I'll be, like usual, moving around with what comes in. The divine masculine showed up in a couple of different kind of clusters, if you like. Some of the divine masculine are running around with the energy of gathering essentials on a boat that is sinking. That was what I was seeing. It's like they had their knapsack or their wet weather gear bag, and they were running around the boat putting things into it, and that was in a very methodical way, though. It wasn't a panic. It was, okay, this boat's sinking, I need to gather these things. That was one lot. And the other, they were asking the question, yeah, that's right. So this is quite interesting. What are the essentials? What do I absolutely need? And to which the answer was, nothing much. Let's just get out of here. So that was an interesting little scenario I got shown, and that I heard the dialogue of. And then there's those sitting in procrastination. So I was showing this a man sitting behind a desk, and the desk was looking out through a window of a high rise. So that was part of the imagery, this high-rise building, watching chaos through the window, and they were a bit frozen in fear or time, but just momentarily. And then there was this, it was interesting, it was like a tear in the cloth or a tear in the sound barrier. So it was like they were watching this silent movie going on, which was quite chaotic out the window, just frozen watching it. And then all of a sudden something happened which jolted them, jarred them, propelled them to rouse from their dreaminess by the sound of a scream, and then they moved quickly. So it was a pretty interesting couple of scenarios. The word codon came. It came in total isolation. And so I looked up what it meant, and it's pretty interesting. I'll tell you in a moment. I wrote it down here. But it was like it just, language comes to me kind of out of the blue sometimes, or without knowing where it fits. So let me see here. I'll just tell you that, and then I can go back to that. But so activating codons is what I heard on Friday as well. And when I looked up codon, it said this, and I'd never heard of that word before. A codon is a DNA or RNA sequence of 3 nucleotides, a trinucleotide that forms a unit of genomic information, encoding a particular amino acid or signaling the termination of protein synthesis. So that's those sort of stop signals. There are 64 different codons, 61 what is that word? Specific amino acids, and 3 are used as stop signals. So it was interesting because that's in perfect alignment with the idea that these lights are coming in and activating our DNA, and then that word codons came through. You are asked to be in the framework, if you like, of we are in preparation energies for 2024. Who have you become? Answer that. And who do you wish to be next now? We are currently in completion of purification in our upgrade of psychic abilities, including eyes, ears, psychic, pineal gland, and pituitary gland. We are an expansion of the heart and higher heart, the throat, as well as an activation of the sternum and DNA, embodiment and activation of codons. We are the bridge to 2024. So I want to speak to that. So those light workers who are awake and aware and highly conscious, it is as though we are the bridge and we are creating the bridge. And on this movement across the bridge, we are like laying in the tracks, if you like, for others to follow. So it might be that we've done a lot of work to be able to do this, but other people just sort of slot in and along on the tracks. But it is that it's that laying in the pathway so others can follow more easily, more gently. And whilst we've been awakening more and more, becoming more and more conscious over a long period of time, the divine masculine are going to do that like that. And many of humanity is going to be following that. So it's as though it's like we've run the codes, run the tracks, made it easier, and others don't have to do so much work, and then everyone benefits. So, it's like using the machete to cut through the jungle, and that's hard work, but it benefits everybody who comes behind. So that's what the divine feminine have been doing, and the conscious awakened ones have been doing. The divine masculine then follow, and they, if you like, they weaken the structures and systems as they leave the matrix so that the rest can follow them, a bit like the Pied Piper, I suppose you could see it like that. So I wrote in here, this was still Friday, this current activation of the brain, throat, and heart, all aligning to greater information about purpose and divine mission, and the masculine aspects of self and in our world, feeling strong solar plexus energies, and that this is related to healing of the inner child and of the integration of that healing. So that might be a part for you if you are feeling that in the solar plexus. That may be some inner child healing that still is asking to be attended to. And I do want to say that I don't believe that this healing is what would be the word? It doesn't. It's not like this long process anymore. It can be dealt with very rapidly. You are asked to step into your own center. That's the first thing. Come into your own empowerment. Claim your own wisdom. And come into balance in all ways. So physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, masculine, feminine, inner, outer, above, below. And now as we move into this higher level of balance and abilities, this is our movement for creation for this month in preparation for 2024. So it's a short period of time, and that we're asked for that to be our focus. I do want to say to you that this is part of our reset to a different level that we're going to move into and through on the 12th. So it's like on the 8th we got all of these codes coming in. On the 12th they get activated, and it's like at that point it is like we say goodbye to everything. That's what I reckon. We say goodbye to everything, to all aspects of the old, of the lower, and we come into the higher. We have a physical reset. So just if anything is coming up now over these few days, just see it as, okay, this is finalizing purification, finalizing clearing, healing, and then let it go. I want to remind you that you will have heard me talk about the fact that frequency will be our new currency. It's the currency of our new earth, and that you can begin to play with that as you embody your own mastery. And remember that in terms of frequency, that this is you, and I want to say in the great rehearsal of practicing your own mastery, and that manifestation and being able to bring things into manifestation it's about putting it here right in front of you in this now moment, that your potency lies in your heart-centered, love-based, present moment existence. Okay, be there, and let's come to that together. So I just invite you to place both feet on the ground, and to take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And bring your focus to your heart and take a breath there. And feel all this love in your heart space. And another breath, feeling the build-up of that. It's carrying a lot of heat, I have to say. And say to yourself, I'm here. I'm standing here in this now moment, in this beautiful heart-centered love. In this present moment. And just be there. And just continue to bring yourself to being there in that present moment. I want to remind you that we are wavering energetically in and out of the new, our new frequency, our new reality and dimension, our new world. So there may be a lot of feeling of this movement from the 3D to the 5D and then back to the 3D as we're releasing the old and bringing in the new, and then that may also be bringing up a lot of grief, a lot of tears, because we're really leaving the old behind. In this preparation for our final landing moment to our new earth, which is still likely to include this moment of deep sleep for final reset and final rebirth and final upgrade, this ascension to our higher timeline and dimensional earth. So that is where I feel that we are building to. It's my belief and understanding that we will have crossed over into that by the end of January. I'm feeling that we are in movement into the flow of creation in order that we are in the energetic sustenance of being able to do that for the building of our new earth, and that has become what is our focus as light workers, as earth showers and earth showers. And there's something new that is very much about our taking our hands off the wheel and being in free fall to be partnered up and to be landing where we are meant to be. So that came in really strongly today. That idea that we come into center, into balance, into empowerment, into alignment, and then we just like sit there with love in our hearts in this now moment, feeling that and knowing that all that is in your divine alignment, divine placement will come in the perfect timing. I want to say, I wrote in here about, or for me anyway, that my divine masculine needs to be able to say no, and to be able to say no without feeling any disparity, any betrayal, manipulation, humiliation, any shame. And I feel that for that applies to many of the divine masculine, that this is where they have to come into their higher in order to be aligned and ready to be in this higher connection, divine relationship. So we are coming, we've been receiving on the 8th these new codes and codons, and then If you remember, during November, we had a lot of introduction of, the ley lines being rearranged and reactivated, our meridian lines receiving that as well, all of the crystalline factors being prepared and here in the physical. Prior to that, we were with them in the etheric and energetic. That this, somebody said that there's a new moon on the 12th. So that's perfect, isn't it? So the new moon on the 12th of December, that to me is the time when the masses are awakening. And also, if we're talking about numerology, 12 is often the ending, the completion, before we either go into the number of the higher, the goddess, the divine, the higher divine feminine, the goddess aspect. That to me is the number 13. And so the 12th is the ending and the completion, and the 13 moves us into the higher. So we've got that happening for us and for the collective. It's this awakening, but they will all receive the benefits of that. And I think that might be it. So it feels to me that the upshot is you and me, that it's like we are now like totally in our, well, I want to say aloneness, but it's not being alone, it's solo. In our solo upgrade completion divine alignment to come into this upgraded, up-leveled, fifth dimensional space, or to be in preparation and readiness for that on our own. And I want to say, if you are in a divine counterpart connection or believe that you are, then you check in with self. You check in, is there any healing coming up for me to do? And in doing that, it assists the energetic connection between you and your divine masculine. And that, there's just this thing about the masculine being able to say no to things in order to say yes to the higher. So they have to say no to disentangle from this very strong binding in the physical. And so you just check in, is there anything you need to say no to that assists them? And you come into your higher alignment and you invite your perfect counterpart match, your highest divine alignment and divine connection to meet you there. So that's the little sort of nuance that I have come to today. Let me just get this out of the way. I feel like my emotions have been unlocked. I haven't cried like this in decades. Oh, bless you. Yeah, you're not alone there. You are not alone there. And a lot of us have had periods of crying in various stages and at various times. And I'm useless at remembering when things happened for me, but I remember that. I remember going through a phase where I just felt like my eyes were continuously leaking and that I would just cry at the drop of a hat. And someone else spoke to me about that earlier today. And this is our release. And it's what a glorious way to be able to release the stored emotions back through time. They come out through the tears, and so you just see it as a beautiful blessing and just feel it as it leaves your body. Attune to where the tears might be coming from. Ask if they have a message for you, and just kind of be in allowance with it. So you might be in and out of sleep as well. You may be not sleeping at all or sleeping really well. You may be feeling tired. You may be looking tired like I am. And just go with it. We're really moving through this extraordinary time. So lots of blessings, lots of love. and I will see you again soon. Take care.